All right, I've got a good topic for us to start on today.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
I've been thinking again about social media, and I've been thinking about the coaching I do for myself that I would express to anybody out there listening is, and again, this is more Facebook, but it really, applies to whatever your social media is if you are only using your social media to sell, you're doing it wrong. If the only way you are talking to your audience is by gig announcements or asking them to buy a t-shirt or asking them to do something for you,
Yep.
you're I think you're doing it wrong. And the teaching moment is social media is a tool for you to foster, develop an audience. And the way you do that is it's a two-way exchange. Sometimes you give things just to give things because that's probably what you want your audience to think about is that, oh, it's a fun place for me to hang out and check in on this artist that I like. He's not always asking me for tips or for money or for me to buy a ticket or for me to go see him. Sometimes you just tell a story. Sometimes you just share a meme. Sometimes if you are so inclined, you record yourself and you share a song. And I think that the Uber message here is that if you are looking at social media only as advertising, you're probably doing it wrong. It's not advertising. That's not actually what social media is. A lot of people use it that way. And the question is, are you overusing it that way? But social media as a meeting place for you and your fan base to develop your relationship is the way that I think that is the healthy way to approach what you're using social media for.
I couldn't agree more. There are things over the years that we have not seen perfectly eye to eye on. This ain't one of them. I am totally with you. Yeah, it has to be. Let's talk about it in ratios, right? I would say at like the worst, it should be 80% give, 20% ask. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you want people to want to engage with you. Look at what we do here, right? Yeah, we have sponsors occasionally. We ask you for things, but we don't start the episode and asking you for stuff and stay there the whole time. That would be exhausting for everyone listening. You wouldn't listen if you would have no reason to want to listen. We would not have gotten the outpouring of emails that we got from last week's episode if people didn't care about this show. And I don't think you would care about this show if all we were doing was asking, like, make sure you listen to the next episode so we can sell you the next thing or, whatever that is.
Right.
So, yeah, so I think 80-20, maybe 70-30 if you're really good at it, but it needs to feel to your audience like you are giving far more than you are taking or asking or, whatever you want to call the opposite of giving in this regard. But yeah, I totally agree. Social media is about being social. So think about how you would be in person with people. Would it just be, hey, let me tell you about my thing. Hey, buy this from me. Hey, this, I don't no one would want to be around you and you wouldn't want to be around people like that. Right. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
If all you're doing is selling, you're going to wear the patience of your audience out. I mean, even it seems like I'm detecting, and I think it's a good thing, that more people are going back to, maybe because it's wintertime, but more people are going back to doing live stream shows, right? I've seen more of that lately. But I also have seen advertising for live streams that they're asking for the tips up front, like, tips welcome. I'm doing a live stream, tips welcome. It just seems like if the premise is always, always, always asking, I just think you're going to wear your relationship with your audience out fairly quickly.
Yeah, you can only get, you have to think of it as a business, especially if you're literally asking people to pay you. That, therefore, is a business. And you have to think about how much money is any one person going to pay you over the course of a year, right? And that isn't just directly to you. It's on your merchandise, on your songs or whatever art you put together that you sell, and then also on tickets, either for your live stream or for your show. What's that number? Come up with that number and be honest with yourself about it. I mean, you can probably look and say, okay, here's my super fans. They come to, 80% of the shows that I play, and they always buy, half the stuff I put out. So you can do the math and figure out what it costs them and throw in some extra for drinks, because I know they come to your show and they buy drinks for themselves, but that's money at the end of the night that they say, oh yeah, it cost me $50 to go see Dave or Bitter Pill or Paul or whatever. Even if the ticket was 20, it's like, well, I spent another $30 on drinks. So that's a $50 night. Think about what that number is. And then don't ask people for more than that, because like you said, you're going to wear them out.
Yeah. And again, the message is social media is not advertising. Yeah. That's not what it is. You may do some advertising in social media, but that is not and that's regardless. Instagram, TikTok, right? I mean, there are creative ways to cultivate your fan relationships, with tip links and all that type of stuff.
Sure.
But if the main message they are getting from you is, hey, let's have another financial transaction between us, you will wear out your welcome pretty fast.
Pretty fast. Yeah. Give some stuff, quote unquote, away. It'll come back. I mean, that's my whole freaking life, is giving stuff away, and I'm still able to, pay for my house and my food and eat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would say the more you give, the more you're able to get. If that 80-20 rule is the rule for whatever your brand is, well, okay, great. But if, you're spending 4 hours a week giving 80%, then if for giving your 80%, then that means you get 1 hour a week back, right? Well, what if you bring that up to 12 hours a week giving 80%? Well, that 20% is probably going to go up in proportion. And that's a pretty good thing. So think about it that way.